Are you fat?
She did start with
because
that.
we were. But so there's this new, it's not really that new.
It's not new.
It's several years old actually, but there are some newer tools that you can use to assist you with weight loss to the market. They're known as GLP-1, and then we also have the dual agonists, GLP and GIP.
Yes.
There's triple agonists that are in phase 3 trials coming, so those
are
exciting.
I saw the Eli Lilly, what's his name, president or CEO or whatever, and he said they have 11 different new things. I saw that.
Yes. I'm like, so exciting.
Yes.
So I went to their clinical trial website the other day because I was just like, what are we looking at this for? Because they just recently approved their Zepbound labeled GLP GIP, which is the counterpart to Mounjaro, which is approved for type 2 diabetes. Yeah. They just approved that one for sleep apnea, which I'm like, that's amazing, you know? But we know that they're studying it for kidney disease, for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. They're also looking at clinical trials for people that have addictions to methamphetamines and opioids, which is crazy. Like they're still...
He was talking about the pleasure center of the brain, how it kind of turns off the pleasure center of the brain, which was sort of an unexpected thing.
Right.
That's, you know... It
kind of makes sense because really I feel like for people that have eating disorders where they're binge eaters, it kind of turns off like that food noise, and so they maybe aren't addicted to an illicit substance, they're addicted to food in some ways, and so it's turning that off and they can just eat to fuel their body instead of just constantly never feeling full.
It's doing something with metabolism, I think, or too? Or is it doing something with metabolism? I don't know.
It stimulates the pancreas to produce insulin. So people who are insulin resistant, they don't have that ability to produce the insulin, and that helps to lower your blood sugar. And I feel like that has a part in it.
I think they don't know everything it does because they know that it's doing something with the inflammation in your body.
Yeah,
right? So
they've proven that with
inflammation issues. Like they know now that it's helping with inflammation. But the other thing is, and I know it's not just me, but I have hypothyroid because half of my thyroid is not working properly. So thyroid's like a butterfly. So one of the wings is not in good shape, and I've been able to reduce my thyroid medication in half. What is that from? So it's doing something with your hormones and how your hormones work in your body. And that impacts how you process things and how your metabolism is working and all of that.
Right. Also slows down like how long the food takes to empty your stomach, which is why before you have a procedure done and you have to be put to sleep, you have to come off of the medication for, I think the recommendation is 1 week on paper. Depends, I feel
doctors, I think, say too.
Yes.
It just depends, but at least 1 week.
At least 1 week, yeah. And that way you can...
For anesthesia, you don't want to have food.
You don't want to be like, no, that's a bad thing. So I started taking this back in 2022.
Yes, me too.
Same to you, and we both have been maintaining our weight and our results and things like that for a long time now. I'm going to say it's been like 18 months.
It's been a really long time. Well, now it's been 2 years, right?
No,
maintaining.
Maintaining, I feel like a little over 18 months maybe. There's the issues though with, I have a story that's very fresh about insurance coverage for this medication. I was lucky. My insurance covered it all last year, and then I maxed out, and it was like I got multiple boxes picked up for $0. And then today, Bradley called me, our favorite Bradley, and he said, "Hey, so now they're requiring a diagnosis code, and I suspect they're going to want the type 2 diabetes diagnosis code in order to cover any of this." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "So do I need to call my provider? What do I need to do?" And he was like, "Yeah, if you want to call them, they'll have to resubmit it with that." And I'm like, "Well, that's never going to happen because I never got there."
So
and I
you'll
certainly
be me and my $5.50 a month.
Oh, I won't get that because I have government insurance through the VA, and they don't allow you to use the coupon for that.
Oh.
So Kelly will be paying whatever the retail GoodRx price is. So y'all, if you need to buy a house, I could use some help with that. Because I'm telling you, this looks way better than the before me. I'm promising you that.
You looked great before. You did. And so I would say for us, neither of us were in an obese category or anything like that. But it does help. You don't have to lose a huge amount of body weight to make it you just feel better. Your aches and pains go down.
All of it. The inflammation is huge. I get my labs done often, and just to see it's that HSCRP number to come down, which then they're finding out does things for your cardiac health. It can actually.
I think that got approved, didn't it?
It did. Cardiac. It did. Yes. And then also they're studying it for use in adolescents as well. Wegovy you can use, I think it's 12 and up or 13 and up, something like that, which is the Ozempic counterpart for weight loss approval.
Well, and for me, I got really excited about it when it first came out because the first article I read was about the liver disease, which is what I have. Liver disease and kidney disease. Lucky Carolyn.
It's a
ding,
double
ding,
winner.
ding. That's the lottery I wanted to win.
Right.
But, and it's not approved for either of those. Both of those doctors have been supportive in terms of saying it's in clinical trials for those, but it's not going to hurt you. And for me, that was better than don't take it.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt me. There's not a lot you can do if you have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, if it's not an obesity issue or weight issue, because that's the first treatment is lose weight. But if it's a genetic thing, like which I suspect mine is, then there's nothing you can do.
Right.
You're just sitting around waiting for cirrhosis of the liver. So this is been proven to reduce scarring on your liver and all this other stuff that just is not approved for that condition.
Yet. They're still in trials, or I think they were completed, but they haven't released the results yet. Is what it looked like.
The results. It still would have to go through FDA approval. I'm hopeful that it will get approved, but either way, I'm my liver disease is not getting worse, so that's a win. And then on the kidney disease, I'm holding steady. So whether it's helping there or not, I don't know, but I think so. Yeah. I'm not getting worse, so.
Yeah, I know before I started taking it, I had labs done and my glucose was the highest it had ever been.
Yeah.
And my A1C was the highest it had ever been, but I wasn't technically, clinically pre-diabetic yet.
Right.
But I know that obesity runs in my family, and especially in the women on my mom's side and her mom. It's just... I kind of knew that was the shape that I was going to be taking, in my adult years as I aged, and I could see that trend happening as I got older. Basically, once I turned 40, no matter how much I worked out,
yes,
I had
the workout
everything.
queen.
I was
she wasn't the person with all the exercise equipment where it sits in a corner.
No.
You were doing all
I was doing the things. I was Peloton
crazy.
biking, the treadmill. I have a tonal. I was an hour to an hour and a half a day. And I also had hired a coach to help me count my macros and plan those out and weighing all my food. I don't do that anymore because it feels so much freer to not have to do that.
You don't have to do that.
But I'm not eating the same way that I was then either. I feel like this has helped me to kind of prioritize the protein, know that I'm fueling my body, but I can still have, I've got my iced coffee there. I can still have a sweet treat. I don't feel guilty about it anymore. I used to think, if I eat that piece of cake, that's going to be 5 whole pounds, or I can't have that piece of pizza. I have to eat something different. It was a struggle. And now I'm just I'm just going to eat whatever's there that I want to eat, and I don't feel guilty about it anymore.
It's not... for me, I feel I ate more snacks, but I never ate a lot of food. Oops, excuse me. That's my
life of a realtor.
That's the life of a realtor. But I never felt like I was eating a ton of food. It's just my body did not work the same way. There's definitely, I think there's definitely some sort of metabolism thing going on because my body uses the food that I eat differently, and I feel better about when I eat. I feel better about eating, and I don't think that I think when it first started being used for weight, people were like, "Oh, you're taking the easy way out."
It's a vanity.
First of all, let me just say, if people were taking the easy way out, God bless them. Good for you.
Yeah.
Because it's better for your health, but it's not an easy thing. You still have to pay attention. You still can't be eating all the fun things all the time.
And you also have to make sure that you eat. There's so many people who will they almost glorify the fact, I haven't eaten all day today.
Yeah.
When they start this medication.
Yeah.
And it's kind of because you don't feel hungry, so you do have to be cognizant of the fact that you do need to be eating. You got to get the calories in.
Eating and drinking.
Yes, lots of water. Protein's important.
Yeah.
You can't just run out to, get the fried chicken and call it done. You still got to be a little mindful of what you're having. But because otherwise it will make you not feel great.
You will feel bad. You will, and also if somebody does need to lose weight, they will stop losing weight because they're not eating.
Right.
The body needs fuel.
What's interesting about that, though, I feel like you get to a point where it's like I'm still taking the medication, but I'm not losing weight anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like you're not going to go negative. I promise you that. Yes. Your body does realize when it's to that certain point. And before the medication, even when I could lose weight before, I would fluctuate up and down so much, like during the week, even like I could be 10 pounds different in 1 week.
Yes,
and you're not eating enough to gain 10 pounds in a week. Like nobody can do that. But now I don't fluctuate. Like there might be maybe a pound of fluctuation, but that's it.
Yeah. I fluctuated at Thanksgiving and I'm trying to fluctuate back down. And
That's
it's not, let me just say
different.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get, I'm like,
Yeah, that's different. I think another thing that's really cool about this, and that's back to like the reward centers in the brain that it's going after, and the the addiction component that they're looking at it for is the alcohol. There's so many people who have said that they aren't drinking as much, and I can attest to that. I know you can too. Where I don't crave it anymore, and I used to. Like every day, about 3 o'clock, Kelly was like, "Where's my cocktail?" I mean, I feel like that's how the name of our podcast started, right? Was vodka.
Yes.
So,
vodka.
Yeah, for sure. And I made it all the way through 2024 with not a sip.
I know, which is
I'm
crazy.
so proud. And now I'm like, well, here we go, year 2. So
well, they just came out and said, completely different topic, but they just came out and said they want to put cancer warnings on alcohol now.
I saw that.
And I was like, well, maybe this timing is good because that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Like they say that it can cause multiple different types of cancer. So that is very interesting.
Honestly, and they're like, who didn't know that? Well,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea. I thought you could get like cirrhosis. From having too much to drink.
Me too.
Drink yourself to death kind of
when
thing.
When have we ever heard that alcohol causes cancer? This is a new one.
It is a new one.
I think it's new. I think
they better not tell me that coffee does that because I'm screwed.
Kelly will be a very unhappy person.
The thing is, it's transference of addiction. And this has become brought up too. I see in some of the TikToks that we watch where people that had addictions to food, or maybe they were drinking too much or whatever, once they gave those things up, they just transferred the addiction to something else. And some took up shopping.
Oh, really?
That would be not good. Or gambling or other bad habits that are kind of like they're transfixed on those things.
We need to have everybody transfer to exercise.
Wouldn't that? Well, not too crazy because then you go on the opposite end of this. But, coffee.
Coffee is good for you.
It's good for you.
I think it is good for you.
It's good for me.
Coffee. A little caffeine never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's a plant. Well, so is alcohol. That's what I don't understand. Is an alcohol like wine's a grape? Is that
it's the fermentation. I don't know. Or is it just is it like only hard liquor? I have no idea, honestly.
We need to read up on this.
Yeah.
We don't know. Don't listen to us.
We're not doctors. We should have probably put that disclosure in the beginning.
Let's do that now. We're not doctors. This is our own personal experience.
Opinions and experience, yes. And if you are interested, consult your doctor. There are, we didn't talk about this, but all of the compounds that are available, and every med spa on the planet is, and maybe even your dentist's office is offering a GLP.
Every doctor I've gone to, not for this, every doctor I've gone to recently, I've been like, there's signs in their waiting area. There's big signs for this.
That you can, get you on this plan. And the compounds tend to be more affordable than if your insurance doesn't cover the brand stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about it for myself, but I get that might be somebody's only access to it.
I feel like I give
we'll
up
see
a
what
lot.
my bank
I'll
account
give up
can.
Some clothes, which is. I'm giving up clothes and a lot of other things because I like the name brand. I'm a name brand girl.
Yeah, same.
I just want to make sure that, you were the one who brought that study. Right?
Oh, about how they tested some compounds from different places and found various percentages of the actual active ingredient in some of them, and some had none. So you're paying for like water essentially. And some had, the real deal in it, but they were not consistent among the vials of how much of it was in there, which is a little scary with stuff like this because you can get too much.
Like if you're, I don't know.
Yeah, you can have too much. I've read horror stories of people that do the compounds not understanding the units that they're supposed to do, and then they're times 10ing it, and they're so sick, like have to go to the hospital sick.
Yeah.
And that's why the real deal, it's a pen, one pen, you click it and done. Just make sure that the box has the right number on it. Because I do remember one girl said that, you know, it was her husband, it was a starting dose he was given.
The pharmacist gave him the wrong
dose.
The wrong dose.
Yeah, it was like, you know, the dose that would have been like 4 months down the line potentially. So, yeah.
And I feel like, too, I saw an expose, I don't know, it was like a Dateline or something, and they busted this woman, and she lived in some beautiful suburb neighborhood. She was making it at her house.
Yes.
And she was selling it to the clinics that are selling the compounded. They weren't buying from a pharmacy. They're buying from this woman who's making it in her bathtub.
That's crazy to me. Like that you would inject this into your body. Like, no. I need a label. I need to know where it comes from. There are 503, wait. Is that what they are? 503B FDA approved compounding pharmacies. Yeah. So it's not the FDA approved product, but the pharmacy itself is, and they're inspected often by the FDA. And you can Google the name of the pharmacy and look up that FDA stuff and find all kinds of inspections. They all have bad stuff written about them. Yeah. And there's reports everywhere. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's like a restaurant review. Don't read those health department things because you're never going to eat out again.
Just go eat there and Russian roulette.
Hope for the best.
Okay, is
that it? I think so.
All right.
All right.
We'll see y'all next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.